Welcome back. He was once boasted he was the best trained man in Argentina to kill journalists and politicians, and that he wasn't sorry for anything he had done. Today, 59-year-old Alfredo Astiz was jailed for life for crimes against humanity, committed during Argentina's 7 years of military rule. Known as the Dirty War, opponents of the regime were routinely kidnapped, tortured and murdered. This report from our Foreign Affairs correspondent Jonathan Miller does contain some flash photography.
Captain Alfredo Astiz in his day had the look of a choir boy, but the man dubbed the Blonde Angel of Death was a sadistic henchman of a brutal dictatorship. He sat with 11 other ex-death squad killers on trial on charges of murder and torture for 22 months. 80 survivors gave evidence. The Angel of Death scoffed as the judges passed sentence. In the cold in the Plaza de Mayo, where the mothers of Argentina's 30,000 disappeared once gathered to demand answers from the junta over the fate of their missing children, hundreds gathered again to hear a long overdue judgment. Truth, justice. After 35 years, many were just overwhelmed.
Justice has been done. Justice is no longer in their hands. That makes me happy. Well, it's a mixture of feelings. We are talking about 35,000 disappeared people.
Among the relatives of the disappeared, a French nun, niece of one of 2 other French nuns murdered by Alfredo Astiz.
Après le jugement,
after the trial, something is complete. It's as if a circle is closed, a difficult circle of years of suffering where justice has been done. I think that justice and truth emerged today. Justice has emerged.
The 2 nuns had been founders of the Mothers of Plaza de Mayo, but the human rights group was infiltrated by the cherubic Angel of Death.
When did they disappear?
My son-in-law 6 years ago, my daughter 5 years ago.
Next door to the National Football Stadium, headquarters of Task Force 332, the death squad of which Captain Astiz was a member. The former Naval College is now a museum, but as a clandestine prison, nearly 5,000 dissidents were tortured and killed here, among them the 2 nuns and, it's thought, 2 British brothers, Derek and Douglas Gilly. The blonde Angel of Death was twice acquitted on kidnap charges in the mid-80s, and then successfully fought extradition to France, but he was convicted there of killing the nuns in absentia and sentenced to life. 7 years ago, the remains of one of the nuns were discovered in an unmarked seaside grave. She was given a proper funeral. The death squads dumped their victims alive out of aircraft into the Atlantic Ocean. Justice would have eluded the relatives of the disappeared had not the late husband of Argentina's newly re-elected president pressed for past amnesties to be overturned. It meant Captain Alfredo Astiz, who'd surrendered to British troops in South Georgia 29 years ago, could finally be put on trial. 2 weeks ago, he condemned his trial as a lynching. "I do not repent," he said. Atonement of some sort now, though, for all those dumped in the ocean 3 decades ago. The dirty war finally over.
Jonathan Miller, we're joined now live from Buenos Aries by Ximena Vicario, who was a victim of official violence during Argentina's dirty war. Ximena Vicario, thank you for joining us. Can you tell us what happened to you?
no, thank you. Yeah, I disappeared with my mom and dad on 5 February 1977. We were trying to get our passport to move to Barcelona, and when my mother and I went to the police station to get the passport, the federal police took us out from the line and through a door, and my mother was never seen again, and I was left in a hospital hall without papers or nothing that it could be a way to identify me. So I was adopted by a doctor there, and my father was taken out of my house in Rosario, and never heard of him either.
And how do you feel today? I mean, do you have any sense of closure that this in some way does at least seal what happened?
I think that there was never be closures to this, because what they have done to us is so deep that you can never close. I don't know, I try to remember my fathers, and I miss them every day. But I think it's important to our country that these crimes are being recognized as crimes, and these people have to receive justice, because they were free 30 years walking in the streets like they have done nothing, and they did a lot, so they have to pay in a way. And I think it's a very good thing for the country, for our society, that these trials are getting some, we are getting some justice from this trial.
Ximena, an incredibly important day for you, and a really dramatic day for Argentina. Thank you very much indeed for joining us from Buenos Aires.
No, thank you, thank you.
Thank you. Mucha suerte.